Hi, guys. We're back with Dr. Lorin Roche talking about meditation and the effect of meditation, the practice of meditation, how it can enhance your life and just rejuvenate your nervous system, and how it can help you in all the challenges that you experience in life. Um, Dr. Roche, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Tanya. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Lauren, I had a question about ego. You know, a lot of spiritual practices and a lot of people who embark on the practice of meditation and learning about meditation often encounter a lot of teachers, gurus who talk about killing the ego or suppressing the ego. And I know we've talked about this. You teach us this a lot in your seminars and in your workshops, how there is a difference between a healthy ego and an unhealthy ego. And I'd love for you to elucidate upon that a little bit today.
Well, it's a good idea to use the dictionary definition of ego if you're going to use the word at all. Look it up. The first the first definition of ego is the sense of I am, the sense of self. It's the personal pronoun. And ego, in a sense, is the connective tissue where you're inhabiting yourself. I'm a person. I have a brain, a heart, senses. I can move in the world and do things. So ego is, in a sense, your personal responsibility. That's the actual dictionary definition. Now, there's a special definition of ego that's used in religious conversion, where ego is your natural self. And in certain religious traditions and monastic training, what they want to do is kill the old self. It's kind of a lobotomy. They kind of stick a software practice inside your brain and cut it up and kill your natural sense of self that you were born with and replace it with a spiritual self, a new self. So you're reborn in Christ. And the 12-step traditions like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, they were modeled on Christian conversion.
So they're an extension of the missionaries in a way.
In a way, yeah. So they have a specialized sense. When they use ego, they use it as a garbage term. They use it to mean the diseased ego. However, if you're not an addict, treating your ego as negative is like cutting off a healthy hand. In medicine, you don't amputate a healthy foot or hand.
So you're saying that an unhealthy ego usually pertains to characteristics where you have addiction to certain substances or certain habits or something that is derailing you in your life.
Yeah, addicts have found people in 12-step programs. If you listen to them, what they're saying is that they developed a whole sense of self that was around that substance.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
But they'd have a feeling and like, let's do that substance. And their whole model of life was built around whatever the substance was, or multiple substances, food disorders, cocaine, alcohol, marijuana, and that in order to free themselves of being dependent and addicted to that substance, they have to just build a new person. And they have groups. They go to groups every day or every few days. These 12-step groups are truly a miracle, but they're using the word ego in a special way. And if you're not an addict, don't forget about it. You actually want to strengthen your ego, your sense of self, and your boundaries.
Because a healthy ego is necessary. It helps you know what your preferences are in life. It distinguishes you from another person. It gives you, in a sense, a healthy sense of identity.
It is your identity, and it's the basis of all of your relationships.
And how would you say a healthy ego helps in your own personal meditation practice?
Well, there's thousands of different techniques. There's thousands. Buddha said once, monks, I've given you 84,000 different Dharma doors for all the different kinds of people that there are. And to find the one or two techniques out of thousands that really is good for you, you have to have a strong sense of who you are. And you actually have to develop that continually and stay attentive. Like, is this working for me? Meditation is very much all about me. In other words, what helps me to do my work in the world? When you find the meditation approach that it suits you, that suits your individuality, it's mostly fun. It feels like getting a massage or going on vacation. And after 20 minutes or 35 minutes or so, somewhere like a short period of time, you emerge from meditation and you're functioning better in every way. You work better, you'll sleep better, play better, you can laugh and cry.
So how did it work for people back in the day when human beings were so tribal and they belonged to tribes, and they might even have tattoos that suggest you're from this tribe as opposed to that tribe, and there was such a thought behind having being a collective. Individuality back in those days was not really a thing. It was not really. I don't think it was really looked at as how do you, and they all meditated as well. They were all natural meditators back then. So I'm interested to know how they would have incorporated meditation.
In a traditional society, the culture holds your ego. You're defined by your robes or your markings, your caste markings. Everybody knows who you are and your status, and not just a caste, but there could be 800 castes, and everybody knows exactly what caste you are, and that's your ego.
So it's a collective ego.
It holds your ego, and you're not allowed to just make shit up. You got to do what your caste role is. Marry the people that your family arranges for you to marry. In a modern West, we have to make decisions all day long, every day, based on what's appropriate for me. Every interaction at work, you can't take on too much responsibility because everything in the modern West is in an uproar continually, and it has been for hundreds of years. The ego is a sense also of my limitations. Like, how strong am I? And we need to know exactly our strength and what our capacity for work. So when somebody says, hey, can you do this? We can say, no, I don't have time. My list is like this, or that's over my head, or I would need this many resources. If I'm going to do that task, I'm going to need all this stuff because I'm aware of my limitations. Ego is a sense of who I am that includes our relative strengths and weaknesses, which change continually. So use the dictionary definition of ego, which is just the sense of I. In Sanskrit, it's aham. And in Tantra yoga, the ego is this precious thing, like a flower blooming. Why would you want to just crush a flower? If you're a gardener, you don't just hate on flowers and crush them. The ego is this beautiful thing that we cherish our whole life until we die, which happens, like, I'm 70. It's amazing to look and realize, oh my God, life is so short. It's like we really just barely get here and get a groove on, and then, oh, gotta go, see ya. Thanks for all the sushi.
Time's up sooner than one realizes.
So we cherish the ego or individuality in ourselves, and that's practice for cherishing the individuality in other people. Healthy relationship is based upon an appreciation of differences, my own particular preferences and yours, and then the meeting ground. So there has to be an appreciation of individuality, and then the communion.
And that's what makes the world interesting, that there are different people who prefer different things, and we can learn so much from each other as a result.
Yeah. And one of the secrets to success in meditation is continually discovering these particular things that you love in the meditative experience, which are as unique to you as like your closet or your music collection. We don't, people don't have records collections anymore. We have Spotify playlists and stuff. But as unique to you as like the sequence of sounds that you like to hear when you're playing music you love.
That's why I think it's so important to talk about healthy ego, because when people start off the spiritual practice or start off on a meditation practice, there's so many books written about kill your ego, suppress your ego, that in effect they try to just demolish any sense of ego without realizing that a strong ego is necessary, a healthy ego is necessary for you to function in this world, for you to know who you are, your preferences.
You can mostly forget this whole bunch of gobbledygook about ego unless you're an addict, in which case just roll with the language system that your 12-step program has developed. Or if you're a monk living in an ashram, then what you've signed up for is to go through this death and rebirth process. Ego is home. It's where you venture forth from. And ego is also the like the manager. Technically speaking, ego is the relationship of your senses, your mind, your heart, your body, your muscles, all of your organs, and your passions, your capacity for action, your capacity to respect the boundaries of each relationship, like knowing when to leave, knowing when to accept an invitation, knowing when to accept a gift, knowing when to give back. All those things of politeness and graciousness come from a sense of your boundaries and what you need and what the other person needs. And it's beautiful.
This is so important. This is so incredibly important. A healthy ego will make you conscious of your boundaries. It will make you aware of what is okay and what is not okay.
Appreciating individual difference is one of the great joys of life. And it's a key to a meditation practice.
Appreciating individual difference, being aware of what a healthy ego does, how it can serve you in life and in your meditation practice, being aware of your boundaries, so essential in personal development. And that was also enlightening. I didn't know the 12-step program was actually another extension, in a sense, of the missionaries as well. But
what's it called? There, if you look up origins of AA and spiritual conversion and ego dissolving or ego annihilating techniques, it's like a medical procedure. You don't do it unless like a group of skilled doctors that you trust have said, yeah, you got to do that.
Got it. Thank you so much.
The medical procedure, in a sense.
This is so helpful. It's so important to make this distinction. Thank you so much.